And at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers Podcast, a Saturday edition of the show. What is going on, party people? What is going on, Clint Nation? Happy Saturday to you, wherever you may be. We're on earlier. It's 10 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. because I was unaware that the Dodgers were playing at 11 a.m. in St. Louis. But I'm here. My guy, our guy, producer Kevin is here. We have our coffees ready to go here on this coffee Monday morning. Coffee morning to you. What's going on, bud? How you doing? Better than the Dodgers, I imagine?
Yeah, I'm a little better than mid, so we're doing great. It's the second week back from the long trip across the pond, and finally feeling like I'm getting back into the swing of things. Should be on a few more shows. Should be able to help out with the content a little bit more.
Yeah,
excited.
Good stuff. We're good stuff. We're going to start trending towards more content on the channel. Bear with us, stay with us, like the show, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff. One subscribe equals one win for the Dodgers. That's what I'm deciding right now, but I don't know. Maybe not, because the Dodgers are kind of struggling. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. We got some moves, a couple of arms coming back to the roster this morning. We got some struggly Dodgers. We've got, I want to talk about Hyeseong Kim, as you can see from the thumbnail of this video, and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into the struggle bus for your boys in blue. That's not the button. That's for later. I need this one on there so that people know your name. But yeah, not a great game to lead off the series in St. Louis. Full transparency, didn't watch any of it because I was working basically the whole day yesterday, so I couldn't tell you much. I just know people were upset about the game. Looking at the line, it looks a little bit annoying as well. Robleski came up, made his first start of the year, or second start of the year. Better than the first one, that's for sure. Not great. His assessment is definitely different. He feels he did really, really good in the game, as you were just mentioning before we went live here, Kev. But yeah, offense completely MIA coming off the off day. And you're wondering, like, what is the root cause of the struggles? It's a little bit of everything for this team right now. That is literally what I'm feeling. Touch on that a little bit before we get into all of it.
Yeah, we know the offense can be long ball heavy at times. When they don't hit a long ball, then they tend not to score too many runs. I think the big stat from last night was 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position, and that one hit was an infield single from Andy Pages, and it advanced the runner from second to third. So it didn't even score a run. I think they did a good job of getting on base. I think Sonny Gray definitely had some taxing moments. They got to the bullpen a little bit. They couldn't really get that big knock. And then on Robo's front, I actually thought he did pretty well. If you told me he gave us 6 innings of 4-run ball, I chalked it up as a win. I think the length is good from a guy like Robleski, and keeping anything within reason, just a reasonable amount of runs to have to come from behind again, as they always seem to need to be doing. I think he definitely put them in a position to win. It's just like you said, the offense was non-existent, and that, or at least they couldn't drive in runs. They were existent. They did get on base. Mookie Betts has looked a little better at the plate. Again, power not really there, but he's hitting the ball well. And there was that inning where I think him and Shohei got on first and second, nobody out, and couldn't score at all. So it's just one of those things where Freddie had a rough day at the plate, and we couldn't really string together anything impactful last night.
Yeah, which apparently you need to do to win some ball games. Got a lot of runners on. You got to drive them in at some point for them to count. Diane is checking in from Cabo, by the way. Good to see Diane. Good to see our friends in the chat. Richie in the chat. Kevin, Uhas, BC, the first names I see up in here. ADK hanging out in the chat as well. I mentioned Uhas. Osterberg. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. OCJ as well. What's going on, Corey? How you doing, man? I wanted to make this, not really make this segment, but I wanted to talk about this in the vein, in the view, the lens or whatever of how do we feel about this team leading up to the first Padres series of the year, which is coming up on Monday. And yeah, there's a series still going on right now. We shouldn't care about the Padres series, but there is something to it. There's something that makes that series kind of meaningful. The fact that F the Padres and all that kind of stuff. But
they're
it's
also only a game back.
Yeah, they are a game back, so that series is going to have a lot of meaning. As our friend Bob Nightingale joins us in the chat,
Go.
it takes a break from breaking news and writing bad columns at times. But the root of the cause here: Dodgers pitching not getting it done, offense not getting it done. Both of those we can say consistently not getting it done. I loved this, by the way, from where I got to find it here, from our buddy, a friend of the show, Cody Snavely, had posted it on the Twitter machine right here. Obviously there's the conversation about, let me get you on the screen as well, but there's a conversation about, hey, the Dodgers traded away or they got rid of the problem children, as it were, with Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes. They're supposed to be good immediately. Why aren't they good immediately? Well, they're not, because the pitching has been really, really bad. And the story lines up because they have a lot of not great pitchers, like perfectly good fill-ins. Like to have one Landon Knack start or one Wrobleski start a week instead of having to have both of them going back to back, but also Gonsolin struggling right now. Also, Dustin May has been pretty uneven, but decent. You only have one adult in the rotation. I saw somebody post a graphic as well on the Twitter. It's only Yamamoto. It's literally only Yamamoto right now, and that is a problem. But you see, those numbers just not good when you're talking about starting pitching, when you're talking about bullpen as well. They are bottom of the pack to, at best, middle of the pack, and you're going to have a bad time when you're always, Jeff Snyder and I talked about it on Locked On Dodgers on whatever day we did. When you're always battling uphill, you're going to have a bad time. It's very difficult to always have to scratch and claw and fight back. And that's what this team is doing. And the bats, for the greater part, have been pretty decent at doing it. I mean, they are very good. I think the Dodgers are the best team in baseball with
most comeback wins.
Yeah, and comeback wins, but also with runners in scoring position. But at some point,
Yes.
You run out of like, it's like, God, we got to go do this again. When you're always just trying to swim out of the deep end or whatever, it gets tiring. And I think the offense is looking a little tired right now. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about offense? You want to talk about the pitching side of things? Because there's help on the way for pitching.
Yeah, the pitching, it's worrisome, but if you look at the cast of characters that are in the rotation and in the bullpen right now, or I guess yesterday, because with Kirby, Yates, and Kopech back, it looks a little more normal. But if you look at the cast of characters, it's way different than what we expected. I think we all
understatement of the season, man.
Like we all expected, Glasnow and Snell to hit the shelf at some point in the year, but not for this amount of time and not at the same time. And that hasn't done them any favors whatsoever. When you're having to get significant innings, I would say, from a guy like Lou Trevino, that's, your bullpen ERA is not going to look amazing.
Which is
funny. I think they've already used
he hasn't been a problem either.
He hasn't been a problem, but that, and that's the thing, is he's been getting the significant run because he's been the best of the bunch in terms of the churn and burn in the rotation or in the bullpen. I think the Dodgers lead the league in bullpen innings pitched. They used to lead the league, I think, in pitchers used.
Yeah,
it's been it's just been a treadmill, and so when you can't find footing, especially in a game that the more routine that you've got, kind of the more success you have. Just ask Clayton Kershaw. It will be interesting to see him pitch on 4 days rest. I don't know how that's going to go, but it'll be interesting.
When does he pitch? Is he pitching today?
Tomorrow.
Okay. As long as he's not, I really don't want my poor precious Kershaw pitching in San Diego for a little while. Like, please.
I think that's why they moved him to Sunday. It's like, hey, look, you either get 5 days rest in Petco or you get 4 days rest against the Cardinals.
I think he's been, despite his career struggles or the kind of highlighted struggles that we can sort of remember of Kirsch against the Cardinals over the years, I think he's been pretty good at Busch Stadium in his career.
He has been. And yes. And a lot of those early career struggles had to do with a guy named Paul Goldschmidt, who they shipped out of there. So that was kind of nice. Thanks for that.
That does help a little bit here. So I mentioned at the top, they do get some help back today. Chris Stratton will be gone after 1 day, back with the team for no reason. We don't know what the other move is going to be, but Kirby Yates back today. Michael Kopech back today. That I don't know. It feels like a win. It feels like a win to get some grown-ups. Guys, hit that thumbs up button for getting some grown-ups back in the bullpen. Veterans, giving good players, living players.
Living is the more important.
Well, they've had living players that's been like that necessarily weren't good with your Strattons and Urania, who's probably going to be the next odd man out in this mix, because you and I were talking just before going live. There's nobody else that makes sense to lose their job in the bullpen unless for some reason the team options Wrobleski, which they won't, because Wrobleski is going to probably take the next start in the rotation. That would have been filled by Landon Knack, who got the option. Most likely, we don't know quite yet, but if you're looking at the names that make the most sense, it's Trevino, who has been good, Urania, who has just shown up and did his job, and he's a gig worker. That's all he is. Yeah. And then the other guy, Chris Stratton, that's the obvious one. That's the first one. But there's nobody else in that bullpen that could lose their job right now. It's not going to be Dreyer. It's not going to be Kasparius. It's not going to be Vesia. Obviously not going to be Tanner Scott, who found they fixed him.
Let me get another outing out of him. And let me see
before you christen him as fixed.
Yeah, I need one more. I need it would be huge if let me get one outing from him in San Diego, a good outing in San Diego, and I'll say he's back.
I love this from Corey here. OCJ saying, what was he paid for yesterday? What's the 1 day rate for Chris Stratton as what is 1 day of major league minimum pay? That is a good question. Somebody knows.
Because they get paid bi-weekly, right? Like they don't get paid. Yeah. So I don't know. That was kind of interesting. I
thought they already DFA'd Stratton. Yeah, and then they brought him back for some reason. They DFA'd him. They tried to send him to AAA. He refused the assignment, and then 2 to 3 days later, he re-signed with the team. Just a weird. What is he this year's? What's his name? Jeremy? No, something Reed. Who was the dude? Jody? Not Jody Reed. Here's a picture. Somebody will get me in the chat. You guys know what I'm talking about. Something Reed.
Jake Reed?
Jake Reed, there you go. Who, by the way, now apparently has a pitching clinic he's running or something like that.
Hey, we got him his first career save. Let's go.
Our friend Richie with $4.99 super chat, on vacation in Alaska on a boat right now. Appreciate Richie sending in a super chat. We'll also hear from him a little bit later on the show on the voicemail hotline. Says Padres local sports media already calling the series the most important of the year. San Diego also suffering injuries. It's life and death for them. Yeah, it's definitely going to be, it feels like that series when we get there is going to be a battle of the who's left standing. but
both these teams are just suffering through it right now.
Yeah.
I know. And Tatis is slumping really hard currently. Like he's in his own head in one way or another. So I'm sure he'll use the Dodgers as a get right series because he loves playing against the Dodgers. Yeah. But both teams are just kind of hemorrhaging players and pitchers.
Yeah, it's a tough time. What's weird too is the Dodgers offensively, the lineup is in a pretty good spot. Everybody for the most part is healthy. I just don't know that. Well, you have some ineffectiveness, and I think you also have the gross misuse of Hyeseong Kim, and I do want to talk about the offense next, and we also got a super chat and all that, but first I do want to tell you guys about BetOnline, because BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action this year. Baseball season, as we know, is in full swing. We are deep into the NBA and the NHL finals, so it's almost the complete floor for baseball in my opinion, but BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while games are being played. Listen, they're going to keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. They have everything. They have updated odds on MLB, UFC, boxing, tennis, NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all of your sports wagering info. In between games, if there's not a game happening, you can go to their online casino. They got top Vegas style games, including blackjack. It's a live casino as well, which is pretty dang cool. Do check it out. BetOnline, the game starts here. Super chat from Francisco. Well, that's the wrong button. I used a different hand and it threw me off. But 999 from Francisco. Go ahead and read that one off for us as I hit the buttons.
Getting 2 of the missing dogs in the pen is a big help, but hopefully some of the starters coming back. Hopefully some of the starters getting back, because I think the offensive struggles are a bit of a result of fatigue of needing to score 5+ runs. Yeah, and having to come back in every single game. It'd be nice to play from ahead for a little bit and like let the bullpen do kind of what it was designed to do, instead of putting them all into like these really austere spots and then just hoping to God that they just don't give up more runs. That just puts a lot of pressure on the bullpen. Long story short, it'll be nice to see Kirby Yates and Michael Kopech back. I'm really excited to get Kirby Yates back, because some of that early season stuff he was showing was just so gross. I don't know what to expect from Kopech, because they were saying they were working on some stuff with him.
Yeah.
At
Dude had like
and Camelback.
nine AAA rehab appearances, which is absurd.
And like in the first one, he literally couldn't find the strike zone at all. So I think people need to kind of temper some expectations with Kopech. I would be shocked if we see him in like the 8th or 9th inning for a little bit. I think he'll kind of be maybe a fireman role or like a 7th inning guy.
I'm fine. Listen, all they need again right now is sort of warm bodies.
Get out.
Get us some sort of warm bodies. But again, on offense, it's not all about the pitching. I think we're all kind of agreeing. I saw somebody else in the chat, and you were just saying it as well. It's like always having to fight, always having to battle. Like for the pitching, the pitchers like knowing I need to keep it here, which should generally be their job. But knowing like, I need to keep it here because our team is already down 4 or 5 runs. That's taxing. That's stressful. Like every pitch is a stressful pitch when you're in that situation. But on offense, again, always having to battle back, always being down. They're not always down, but more often than not, they are down. And to me, what kind of spells the change for the Dodger offense, where things started getting a little more struggly, is Teoscar's struggles. There's more than just him. Like Shohei Ohtani, it feels like as well. Like this is my interpretation of it. The Dodger struggles. They struggle more often than not when he's not on a heater. And we know he can go on otherworldly heaters. You saw it in most of the month of May. He hit 15 fucking homers, which is crazy to think about. It's a lot of dong from your boy Shohei, which is what people call it. Just listen, man. Don't you dare.
I've been away too long. God.
That's what we call it now. We call it dong. All right. Fucking moron. But Teoscar, man, struggling hard. Just one hit. In the month of June, he's hitting 180. That's 11 for 61 since returning from the injured list with that hip, groin, whatever it was. Was it a hamstring? Or I think it was the hip. Anyways, returning from the injury. And I think the Teoscar struggle is really the biggest factor in the Dodger struggles, because he has been an absolute dog when it comes to driving in runners and scoring position, just keeping the lineup moving and all that kind of stuff. And to be hitting 180.
Hey, breaking news.
Oh God.
Tony Gonsolin's the next. He's on the IL with elbow discomfort. He's the other move, I presume, for either Kopech or China.
There it is. There's your breaking news. Tony Gonsolin, welcome back to the injured list, buddy. We've missed you before we resume offense talk. But all right, well, that'll let them bring back Knack, I guess, when they need to, as opposed to.
Well, they can bring him back now, right? They could if a pitcher,
because he just pitched, so that would be kind of dumb for them to bring him back.
Bobby Miller, baby, he's coming back.
Bobby is so bad. He's just so bad. But all right, well, Chris Stratton out and Tony I mean, maybe that explains some things, because he has been struggling a good bit in his starts as well, struggling with some inconsistency. I mean, definitely consistently having early game issues. So maybe this needs that elbow to kind of warm up. But I hope this isn't the same thing that Dustin May had to suffer through or deal with, where D May said, like, after my first Tommy John, I never felt right. It never
Yeah.
felt good. The second one feels way better. Hopefully they
Same
didn't
with glass
botch
now.
it. Hopefully it's not, Frank Reynolds with his toe knife. Oh, I botched it. That's a botched toe. Did you have Frank Reynolds on your
No,
bingo
I
card?
really didn't. Although my YouTube has been feeding me like Always Sunny shorts recently, and I don't know why.
You're welcome.
It must be you. But this would explain a lot. He has been missing it. His stuff hasn't looked quite as sharp as we know it could be, especially early in the season, like when he first came back. You gotta hope it's precautionary, but we have no idea with this team.
By the way, would you make this trade? Trade the entire injured list for Paul Skeens? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would make that trade.
Well, no, I wouldn't, because we're running into the playoffs with like Yamamoto, Skeens, and like the corpse of Kershaw.
Yuha says, I knew playing from the stretch wasn't going to be good from Tony. Appreciate it. That's a $20 super chat from our guy, Kevin Yuhas. Appreciate you, Yuhas, for, let's have a coffee about it. By the way, what are you drinking this morning?
This is just espresso.
Oh, wow. Big time wedding gift, I'm assuming, right?
No. We have like a Nespresso. We've had one for a while.
Oh, Nespresso. Wow, name brand. You guys know what I'm drinking this morning. I'm drinking my friends at Heritage 1857 in a Hornitos mug that they sent us back in the day. Very good coffee. I'm having the salted coffee combined with the 3-in-1 Vietnamese coffee. Do check out Heritage if you don't mind. They are supporters of the show, and I need to send you some. I said I will.
Yeah.
I will do it. I'll package some stuff up and send it your way.
Please.
Well, there you go. Ray saying Gonsolin is a little better than Miller, but that's not saying much. I don't know that I can get behind that. Bobby Miller is so bad, and Tony is good when he's healthy. And I wonder how long he's been pitching.
This is worrisome because they didn't need to put him there, right? Because they could have brought back Kopech and Yates without putting Tony on the IL. They chose to put him on the IL, which tells me that this might be a little more urgent than normal. Like they didn't want to wait a little bit. They're like, no, we need to do this like now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I guess more to come. I'm sure Dave will get bombarded with questions shortly here. And I'm sure he's going to say something along the lines of, he just felt a little something, not too worried about it. He should come back, when after the 15 days, and then he won't. But
do you like that I'm moving your camera, by the way?
I do. I love it.
I figured I had a moment there to touch on or fix some headspace that was bugging me, which we didn't. That's just me. That's just a me thing. It's a director thing.
I love a space for head.
So beyond Teoscar,
99, waiting for the tweet. TJ went well. Rip Catman. Yeah, we'll see.
Where is it? I missed it. Oh, there it is. I want to make sure it's on the screen. Give some love to the super chats. Yeah. No, God. Listen, Tony can't go through more Tommy John. That would be terrible. That would be awful.
Have his esophagus first.
Oh, God. But yeah, back to Teo real quick before we move on to Hyeseong Kim, which is a narrative I really wanted to dive into on the show. Teo not in the lineup today, which not being in the lineup a day after or 2 days after a day off, obviously day off, play a game, and then a day off again. Getting a blow, probably trying to get a mental reset. Hopefully they're working on something. But yeah, like overall, the numbers now on the season like just seem a little rough for Teoscar. And what's crazy, man? Andy Pages kind of closing the gap on runs batted in, on production or whatever. Hopefully a little mental reset. Just giving Teo the day helps him out. But I guess there's one benefit.
Pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, it's also that. Right-handed pitcher on the mound, which means it's Hyeseong Kim day, and that's the only way our dude can get in the lineup, which is annoying because free my boy. And now I am fully all in on Hyeseong Kim because the numbers say you should be in on Hyeseong Kim. Dude's hitting over 400. Do with that what you will in a small sample size, but he has been... Dodgers are 2 games over 500 when he's in the lineup, which means something to me. But I don't know that they are putting their best foot forward right now in terms of lineup. And I know I've seen like some people, I think they were talking on MLB Network about maybe the Dodgers should switch the lineup around, have Shohei in a more like run producing spot. I don't think it's that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do move the lineup around like when he starts pitching, because it doesn't make sense for him to lead off and also start a game. I think that will be quite difficult for him to do. But when we're talking about Hyeseong Kim here, it's a little bit of a concern, because this was something that the great Chad Moriyama had posted on the Twitter machine here a couple weeks ago, or this was the end of so a week ago, 1 week ago today. Kim hitting well. Obviously, he was leading the team in weighted runs created plus at that time, which is just what you imagined for him. And since then, I think he's played in like 2 or 3 games. Playing time since 3 games, 7 plate appearances for Hyeseong Kim, which I don't know, man. I'm telling you, that feels wrong. It feels very wrong to me. Like, is this a gross misuse of HS Kim?
No, I think I think they're just trying to put him in spots where he can succeed. So they want to get him against right-handed pitching. They also are trying to keep guys like Conforto relevant. I know that doesn't. I know the reaction. It's a lot of groans just happened in the universe.
Yeah.
But they want to do that. They are kind of lefty heavy in general. However, I've never been a huge fan with how fast they platoon players.
Yeah.
I would like to see him get in there a little more regularly, even against some left-handed pitching, just to see what you got. I get it. My estimation of all this is that time of year, that weird time of year where the Dodgers have a couple of really obvious black holes in the lineup that just aren't going to be there. Come September and October, and we just kind of have to suffer through it because they just want to see if they can get these guys right. Because trotting out Conforto, Miguel Rojas with any kind of regularity is really, really tough to watch. I think eventually those at-bats will go to Hyeseong Kim. They're just trying to see what they've got. They use this entire time as an audition for October. We're trying to see if these guys can make that roster. I think right now, if they had to construct a 26-man roster for October, Hyeseong Kim is easily in there. He's like the 10th guy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I agree with a lot of that. A couple of things I just taking notes because I wanted to touch on like the lefty heavy thing and all that. We really, really hope by the time we get to the end of the season, there's not a whole lot of Miguel Rojas in this lineup, because there's no redeeming qualities right now when you're talking about Miggy Ro, which is pretty unfortunate for him. Beyond that, Conforto, I don't buy in to that not that walk off, but the go ahead hit. Like, that's just getting dude, that's like getting domed up the day before you were you planned on breaking up, and she just happened to walk in the room, and she's like, oh, hey, maybe this is too graphic for everybody, but it's
we were talking about headspace earlier.
Yeah, this is fair. It's that kind of show, guys. Good morning. The coffee is hitting. I'm just saying, it is a save the relationship go ahead single for him, and I don't know, man, but still, it's not just I don't think like Rojas isn't in there every day. Conforto is in there for the most part every day, and that's just one dude. It's like the bigger problem is Teo needs a hit, Shohei needs a hit, Freddie needs a hit, Max needs to keep doing his thing, and Kim probably needs to be in the lineup more. Maybe there is a need to kind of move some lineup around a little bit there. Matty Man hitting me where it hurts right here. Dave didn't like Matt Beatty, Michael Bush, and he doesn't like him. Matt Beatty, that one cuts me to my core. That's my boy.
Hitman.
That's my boy. Matthew Thomas Beatty.
I do think he needs to be in the lineup more. I think the numbers speak for themselves. The at-bat quality, I think, is pretty impressive for the most part. Because if you look at the difference in at bat quality between him and rushing, it's pretty stark. Hyeseong Kim looks like a major league hitter, at least more so than rushing currently.
At least he's getting major league contact, we'll say. He's finding major league grass. I don't know how much he's a hitter. He is finding major league grass, which I love.
That's what, we love that. So the defense plays. The defense is great. We knew that, though. We knew that coming in.
He's also in center field today.
I'm excited. Who's at second?
I think Tommy. Probably Tommy.
They couldn't put Tommy in center? They couldn't literally flip Tommy?
I think the ankle thing they've been worried about with Tommy Edman.
They've been worried about that.
Which is why
but that's a situation though where if the Dodgers do, and this is why they want to see what they have in Conforto, if he can be a contributor, because if they get rid of Conforto, all of a sudden you have Andy Pajes and Teoscar in the corners, and then there's my hand. And then either Tommy Edman or Hyeseong Kim somewhere at second base and center field. Yeah. So they're just trying to see what they've got in Conforto, and they're gonna do that. Dave loves vets.
They have the time. They had Alana and I had this conversation on DT on Thursday. They have I told her, I was talking about I was crapping on fans. I was like, everybody's like, oh, you got to win every fucking game and yada yada. It's like right now this is a team that has the luxury. Even if they fall out of first place, it's okay. You have the luxury. The Los Angeles Dodgers have the luxury to see what a player can do, to see what they have in a player for a long stretch of time. Now, if Conforto is still hitting $170 by the end of June, then things really start to heat up. Then his playing time will dry up, and then they really start to be probably really, really actively exploring the trade market. But then you look at that, there's not a whole lot of options on the trade market as well. We'll do that at some point. We got to have a kind of way too early trade show. Maybe we'll do that this coming week after the Padres series where the Dodgers lose 2 or 3 or something like that. Everybody has their torches and pitchforks. A couple super chats, by the way. Noah Ortega. Noah, as you know, with the 199. Thank you very much, Noah. Got to push the button right. Says the chance of Bueller reunion just increased following the IL designation for your boy Tony Gonsolin. You guys have seen Bueller's been pretty booty, pretty bad.
I think he was seven runs, 2 innings yesterday, and he's got a 5.
Did you see
upper 5s?
Did you see his quote after the game too? He was like, "I just fucking sucked for them."
But what was really funny was, I think was it Carabas and a couple other of the Red Sox beat, or not beat guys, but kind of the people who cover their team in kind of our similar capacity. We're like, this is really tough to see from a starting pitcher. It was really cool to watch Walker Buehler, say what he said, and I'm just going, yeah, that's just what he does. Yeah, this isn't anything new. Yeah. It's just how he is.
Literally how Walker Buehler.
It's don't be surprised by this. If he's bad, he's gonna tell you.
One more note. I mentioned that you had said the lefty heavy lineup. I don't care how you hit. I just want you to hit. If you hit a baseball,
that's why I would love to see him against left-handed pitching.
Even if you do the David Spade, David Spade sword or whatever. I'm fine if you make contact ball and it finds grass, it finds a hole. Cool, good on you. Be left, be right, be middle.
Don't look at the sample size, but Hyeseong Kim has a 5 OPS against left-handed pitching. Just don't look at the sample size.
Do you say a 5 OPS?
5.
Ooh, maybe not.
A 5 dot. No, a 5 dot.
Oh, got you. Okay. All right. So he's don't look because I remember seeing him hit that dong off I think a Mets pitcher or whoever it was a couple weeks ago. It's like let the boy play. Like it says on the screen, free Hyeseong Kim. That's what I want to see in the lineup today, though, in center field. One more thought on the Catman from our friend Francisco. He has with the 499 super chat. Sorry, he says, what's more expensive than the Dodgers payroll or their bill with Dr. Neil Elatrash? Hoping that the Catman news isn't hinting at something worse. Big same. I am a big Catman fan because Catman do when he is right, when he is healthy. Guys, hit that thumbs up button if you want Tony Gonsolin to stay healthy and not be murdered by Dr. Neil Elitrast. Also, subscribe to the show if you're not subscribed. If you're looking for a different way to support the show as well, not done here yet, but if you are looking for a different way to support the show as well, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. A couple of options there to support. At the $5 option, you get access to our Discord server where we're talking about Dodger baseball all the time. Sometimes I'm in there, sometimes I'm busy. For the most part, I try to be in there. Kevin is active in there and stuff. And Kev, what do you think? I was going to talk to you before the show about settling, hammering one in. But should we do maybe a little Padre game watch party this week? Let's talk about it. We might do that on Discord. The only way you'll know about it is if you're on Discord as well. The only way you'll know about our upcoming All Dodgers meetup at Dodger Stadium is through the Discord, so do check it out. Do support the show if you would not mind, if you have the ability to. Let's just keep talking. Let's keep talking Dodger baseball here while we're around for a little bit longer. Coffee and Dodgers talk to end the rest of the morning. We are about half hour from first pitch in St. Louis. Yamamoto versus Eric Fetty on the bump. As we already said, Hyeseong Kim's in the lineup. No Teoscar Hernandez in the lineup. Could use a win. Could use a win over future Dodger. Well, he's not even in the lineup today for some reason. To say future Dodger Nolan Arenado's team.
Nolan's not in the lineup? What?
He's not in the lineup today. Against Yama? Maybe he struggles with good pitchers.
Splitters? That's weird. I didn't realize Dave was also managing the Cardinals, taking a guy out after a 3-hit day. The hell?
Oh,
Arenado looked like he was on one. He looked like he was back at Coors. He was hitting the ball so well. I was like, shit, guys, maybe we should stop pitching to him.
If we're talking about the idea of like changing the lineup around a little bit, Bacon Tree, which is a great name, by the way, on the YouTube, brings up an interesting comment, interesting point here. Andy Pages is deserving to hit the fourth spot. He has the power. He has the contact right now. And he had some of those outside pitches that Teo is completely whiffing on. Teoscar, for all of as much as I love the dude, and as much as he has that dog in him, when he's off, he is really, really off. And Andy Pages is absolutely if you're talking about what a season. When you're talking about shipping him off to the moon, especially me, in the first couple of weeks because the offense was bad, the defense was bad, to now.
This is
you look at the team page on Baseball Reference, he's like the second head or third head in team WAR, which is crazy.
Yeah, I still would rather have Teoscar batting up there.
Same.
He's I think if you were to rearrange the lineup, one thing that could be explored.
Bacon isn't wrong.
Nope.
Never
it's
is.
Always right.
It never is.
If it is wrong, I don't want to be right. I do think if there is a move to be made, I actually think it's actually moving Mookie back to leadoff, with him being more of a contact hitter with less power. He's not really the home run hitter. Like, I doubt he eclipses 30 home runs again in his career. If he does, that'd be pretty. Thank you, Chris. That'd be pretty surprising to me if he did eclipse 30 home runs. Getting Mookie on base, just having anyone on base for Shohei would just do so much damage, and then you could have Teoscar behind him and then Freddie, and that's just your 1 through 4 no matter what. I could get something behind something like that. But I don't think messing with Pages. I really don't want to mess at all with the back part of the lineup. Because the guys who are succeeding, I like that they're succeeding where they are.
I'm looking at today's lineup, and it's like, outside of just not having Teo in there, if you're looking at 3, 4, 5, I would never hate seeing Freddie, Will, and Muncy right now because Max is back. We know this. Max is good again.
Went to see Kike's optometrist.
I saw one of the chats. We also got another super chat from Noah. We'll get to in just a second, but I love this. The juxtaposition of it, or just the long season brings us to this. Alex Renteria saying Andy Pages needs to start talking to Teo about his swings. The irony. That's a great comment.
Teo does this. He did this last year. He had a stretch last year where he was just dog, and that's fine. It's just players go through. It's a long season. He's gonna have slumps, and he'll break out of them like he always does. In the middle of July, September, whatever, someone's gonna say, "Out, extend this man," because he's just gonna come up with a big clutch hit. He'll be fine. Like on the list of guys I'm worried about hitting a baseball, Teoscar is not on it.
No,
but he's just
especially when it comes down to like crunch time. Again, if this was, even if it was October, he would just, his bat would automatically, his brain would know, okay, it's October. This means something right now. Let's go. Drew, as I had posted the comment or put the comment on the screen there, Drew is a big fan of your idea of having Mookie lead off. I mean, Mookie's done it. He's done it for a while in his career.
He's really good. He's really good at leadoff. I think it's just something. We've seen him be able to go first to home. He literally did it the first game back on a double. So if Shohei gets a double, he can still score them. I think it's just when you said putting Shohei in a more run-producing role, I don't want to drop Shohei all that far, but just swapping the two again, that puts him in a more run-producing role because Mookie at least gets on base.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love having Shohei have the opportunity to drive in some runs. That said, Shohei Ohtani had leadoff all year last year and drove in 130 runs.
So it's really good. I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like I'm saying,
runners at the top of the lineup count as much as runners at the bottom of the lineup.
Exactly. I don't actually I don't think the lineup really needs to be messed with. I actually think Dave has done a really good job with lineup construction. I like how he's been going to Teo early against left-handed pitching and then moving Freddie back into 3-hole when against. I like that. I think he's done a great job with the lineup. I think if you're going to mess with anything, though, it's just the top two guys. Everything else is just I don't know where you move anything because everybody else, it looks great on paper. It
really does. That's the thing. It's just we're at a point right now. It's like even in when I think back to postseason 22-23, Dave pulled the right levers. People at some point just got to do their jobs, and right now the guys aren't all doing their jobs together. And it's hard to get the job done that way when people aren't doing their jobs. By the way, we've got super chat from Noah, as you know, $1.99 from Noah Ortega, giving a little shout to, by the way, the Dodgers producing talent, because I don't think we're giving enough love to the fact that where would we be without Ben Casparis, Jack Dreyer, and Andy Pages? All of those homegrown Dodgers drafted or signed as international free agents.
I needed Andy Pages to be a player like a fish needs water. The drought the Dodgers were going through without producing a major league hitter from the farm system was driving me up a wall. Granted, we were spoiled with Jock, Corey, Cody. We were spoiled. I mean, I'll throw Kike and Austin Barnes in there too because they were pretty much Dodgers from the jump. But yeah, it had been a minute. It was just Will Smith in the middle there and nobody else. Except for Michael Busch, but he's with the Cubs.
Yeah. Very underrated player, by the way, is Michael Busch.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And we know
he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Gavin Lux doing okay for them Reds, but still not really they haven't produced
top 5
star
in
power
worst WAR or bottom 5 in WAR or defensive run saved, in left field. Because anybody raise your hand if you could have told the Reds not to put Gavin Lux
when I
left
heard
field.
that at the when they signed, I was like, oh, we're gonna have him be super utility, play some second, some short, some third, play some outfield, and I was like, have you not watched any of the tape? Did you not watch any of the tape on Gavin Lux? We got technically we got a video from Richie because Richie was struggling with the voicemail. There was a chunk. The way my software works to be able to play videos, it would have been a whole thing. It would have just been Richie in the middle of the screen, and I would have to build a screen, essentially a scene for it to work. So instead, I turned Richie's video into a voicemail, but also he went on a long diatribe about not about your dog, but about Landon Knack, and I felt it just didn't fit the narrative because Landon Knack was, option to AAA. So there's at least for now. So there's the preface to Richie's voicemail here, and I have a voicemail button about that. But here's some Richie's thoughts, and I think at the start of his voicemail, there's some stuff we could really dive into here before we end the show. So here's Richie.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy Saturday to you.
From a boat.
Well, it's been cold up here. Colder than Manny Machano's personality. Also went whale watching the other day. Didn't realize Jock Peterson was up here swimming around in Glacier Bay, but I digress. Well, we split the series with the Mets. Here's the sad part. We practically handed them at the tiebreaker. And if you don't realize that all this talk about, well, the regular season, it doesn't matter. Sorry, folks, it does. Games in June matter. Games in late May matter. And we gave the Mets the tiebreaker. And we practically handed them 3 games that should have been won. Lack of defense, lack of pitching, and lack of offense in most cases. The Mets, for me, look totally average at best, and I just don't think they're that good. And when healthy, we should be able to beat them. But, of course, if we do face them now, we basically handed them the tiebreaker, which is a huge advantage. So, people, regular season does matter. Well, anyway, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck the Wi-Fi that's not existent up here. Fuck the cell towers that don't exist up here, so you can't get any type of signal. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck the Padres. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
There's our friend Richie phoning in. He also, again, had some thoughts about the pitching situation, about Tony Gonsolin, who has now since been placed on the injured list, about Landon Knack, who was since optioned, and then he had some Clayton Kershaw thoughts in there as well. But I felt like diving into that whole idea that all games matter, which I agree. I agree that these games count in the score over the totality of 162 games, and I do firmly believe that it's you could win and lose a division in April as much as you can in September. Just potentially ask the Braves, who had a just absolutely abysmal start to the game. To this season. But like I'm still not in panic mode about where we're at this season, about where this team is at this season. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but you live to fight another day. To borrow from Pops on Friday there. I forgot what the hell they actually called him. Anyways,
Pops.
Was it just Pops?
Yeah.
It was his Pops. But I don't know, man. Like I don't panic in these points. Like things are gonna figure themselves out. It's the voice, not the sorry the law of averages in baseball and yada yada and long season, whatever. I got distracted there, but the point is, like, they will be fine if Conforto's not hitting, like you said earlier. They will find a solution. They will eliminate him. Miggy Rowe definitely has a fire under his ass very soon if he can't figure something out. But then it's like also with him, who else? Is going to take that spot? I don't think they're going to bring up another player like Alex Friedland just to sit on the bench. Which, by the way, we probably need at some point have a conversation about Dalton rushing. But, Chris, there it is. John Witherspoon also played Pops in that. Rest in peace to the great John Witherspoon. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Final thoughts to button this up as I kind of take the air out of our sails here to end the show. What do you got before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the season series with the Mets. It's fine. The Dodgers are likely not going to be in a wild card spot. At least the Dodgers and Mets likely won't be in the wild card race together. I don't think that one particularly matters all that much. I also don't care about how the Dodgers get into the dance as long as they do. I'm a fan of the break just for a team like the Dodgers because they usually do need that rest. But if they don't have it, who cares? Everybody's gotta have some challenges. It's not a big deal. Still in first place. Like you mentioned earlier, if they fall out of first place, does not matter at all. It's probably gonna happen at some point. It could happen this weekend or early next week against the Padres.
Like I said, Padres series coming up, and right now they are one game behind the Dodgers.
Yep. And we're playing in Petco. We're playing in San Diego. We know, and I think they're already restricting tickets based on zip code again, which is always just funny to me. Like, whatever.
I mean, if it works for them, I guess cool. Soft as hell.
They don't need it though. I mean, their fans shout anyway. That's neither here nor there. It's not.
Now they show up.
Now they show up. Yeah. Well, yeah. Now they show up. But I still think they'll be fine no matter what. we do. You can set your watch to this time of year for the Dodgers. It's that time of year where the offense goes cold for a little while. Got a couple guys that you're like, why the hell are we running them out there? And then September rolls around, you're like, okay, they've been treading water, and they take off because they start putting together like real lineups, and Dave starts using like real players again, and they get some real pitching help. So I'm not too super concerned. If you're talking about most important series up to this point, maybe, I don't know. Like, none of these series have felt all that important to me, at least this year. I think this year more than anything, especially after winning the World Series, there's a World Series tax, especially on the arms. The Dodgers are just trying to tread water right now. They're just trying to stay afloat and get back into the dance because they're trying to sustain some injuries or like get through those injuries right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything is all that impactful. I don't think the Dodgers are going to go into Petco and think anything more than this is just a game. Now they might think it's more fun because the atmosphere will definitely be more fun in Petco than it's been at Busch Stadium, or
maybe they need that. Maybe they need that spark. That's the only way I can get off these days. I need the crowd watching me and booing me. Give them a little bit of hell, guys. That's what we're looking for. We'll have some content during that Padres series. Again, we're gonna find a day to watch the game on Discord together. We'll have some fun with that, you and I. Let's talk. And we'll maybe do a post game after one of them. I'll definitely be doing post game. Me, Alana will be back on Tuesday with the post game. We'll be previewing the series on Dodgers territory with the great Kyle Glazer of the Friar Territory podcast on Dodgers territory on Monday at noon Pacific time. Do tube into that. Again, Dodgers territory, the original 12 p.m. noon show on your YouTube machine. All others are imitators. But guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the questions, the comments, hanging out with us here on the Saturday, an hour earlier than anticipated, because I was unaware that there was an 11 a.m. game, and I will start paying better attention to the calendar moving forward. Also, big shout out to the super chats, 7 super chats today. Appreciate you guys helping support the show. That does go directly to us, not to an owner, not to somebody else, not to whoever owns the YouTube channel. It goes to us. It goes to me. And then at some point I make sure I hook up our boy Kevin for doing his fine work of showing up and looking pretty.
Hanging out. Looking cute. And occasionally boys. Bringing my dog on the cam.
This is true. Eventually got to bring the good boy on the camera. If you guys are looking for a different way to support the show, once again, check out our Patreon. Check out the YouTube members. The links are in the description. $5 a month to support the show. You also get access to the Discord and more conversation. If not, the best way to support the show also is to subscribe. That's honestly the best way to support the show. Tells us you care. Tells us we mean something to you guys. I'll do anything for that like and subscribe. I'm just kidding. But that's it. Thank you also to our Patreon supporters who already support the show. You guys are incredible. We love you for that. That is producer Kevin.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah, you're on that side. Give him a follow at Skinner7 Kevin on the Twitter. I am RealFRG on all the social media platforms. Follow me there. Big things coming up for your Los Angeles Dodgers, but let us beat down on the Cardinals today. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.